UnderTurn Stroke is a flipped version of the overturn. So it starts from the waistline with the square top and making a turn at the baseline and finishing back up at the waistline. So remember to start with the square top. Let's try it enlarged version. Square top, going down, transition, going back up with the hairline, finish it at where you started. So let's break it down one by one. There is this oval sitting inside of the underturn. Always visualize this green oval when you're writing the stroke. Overturn is going over, but now we're going under. We're going to make a stroke as if we're holding the oval inside. Let's draw this oval once more. Remember, it's an oval, not a circle. We're going to start on the left side of the oval, and then we're going to cup the oval and gliding onto the right side. Visualizing that invisible oval really helps you to keep it on the slant. So 55-degree slant. On the left looks good, and on the right, I see that it's not really that on slant on the right side, but you know what I mean. Yes, we want both lines to be on the slant. So as I pointed out when we were learning about the overturn stroke, it's important to keep the transitional line very delicate also for the underturn stroke. We want this area to be very delicate. Keep the shade on the 2/3 top, but the bottom 1/3, it needs to be very delicate and hairline. Common mistakes to avoid includes doing something like this, which has a rounded top. We do not want rounded top. We want a square top. And when you're making a stroke that is pointy at the bottom turn, we should avoid making a very pointy edge like this. We should always make a graceful circular motion. And this is also a common mistake that I used to make. So when you make a turn right here, it needs to be nice and crisp, just like so. But somehow you could drag the ink and make an ink blob like that. This could happen because the ink consistency might not be correct, or maybe the pressure when you're writing is too heavy. Another example to avoid is, of course, not keeping it on slant, but finishing off with a different angle altogether. Or maybe begin with the wrong slant and finishing off on the correct slant. This one is very low angle for our slant line, and this one is almost like a straight 90-degree angle. These are no good. So I'll show you how to do a running drill using underturn lessons. So you begin with the entrance stroke that we have learned, and then this is important to move your nib a little bit to the right and then begin to write the understroke. So let me show you what happens if I don't move the nib to the right. Entrance stroke, and without moving the nib, look what happens if I write the underturn stroke as it is. Do you see the difference of how this one is cut off, but this one is nice and smooth all the way up? So we want to avoid cutting the entrance stroke in the middle because it looks very squished and ungraceful. So keeping that in mind, begin the entrance stroke, move a little bit to the right. Don't begin on the hairline point, but to the right. Then begin your square top and the underturn, repeating the same step, move to the right a little, and then the underturn, space to the right, underturn. It's okay to do some touch-ups. Let's try to do the bigger version. Hairline up, move to the right a little, and then do the square top, graceful transition, moving upward, a little bit to the right, and then going down, up, to the right, down, and up, keeping in mind the same distance, going down, and Okay. I think you would know by now to check your slant line on all the lines and making sure that the counter spaces in the middle are all equal to each other and making sure that this transitional area here is very nice and delicate, making sure that the shade is on the 2/3 of the top. So I want to show you another variation of a drill that you can do. So hairline and small underturn and a circle here, it makes a letter I. And if you make a bigger underturn here and a crossbar, and now it's a T, so it's IT. You can repeat these ITs on to the right and making sure that we are looking at the even spacings, staying on the slant line. It becomes a fun drill that you can practice to improve your underturn stroke. And up. And a crossbar, a circle, and a crossbar here. And there you go.